This program is presented by University of California Television. Like what you learn? Visit our website or follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the latest UCTV programs.
How we feel today, family?
Good food, loud music, and familiar faces may seem like your typical block party, but this one located in the heart of East Oakland is unique. The Oakland is Proud Block Party is a new project organized by the Eastside Art Alliance to create public space for the community to engage with one another.
Give it up for the neighbors. The idea behind it is that one of our strongest assets is our culture, and through culture we can talk about what our power is, we can talk about what resources we need in our neighborhoods, and we can talk about if we were to see development, what kind of development would we want to have.
According to the organizers and residents, gentrification is their major concern.
We're seeing that people who have been here for 40, 50, 60 years are getting pushed out and are no longer living in the neighborhoods that they grew up in, that their grandchildren grew up in. But the reality is our neighborhoods need resources. They need grocery stores. They need small businesses. They need libraries, you know. They want development. So it's not a question of don't develop these neighborhoods. The question is develop but don't displace.
This event is important because it brings folks together from cross cultures, generations, and it just kind of gives us a chance to kind of see what could be.
In addition to live music, the block party featured a car show, children's activities, and local art vendors. It also provided a space for people to discuss the difficulties and realities of living in this marginalized part of the city.
Police presence coming down pretty harsh in this area, you know, black and brown people having a whole nother reality of the cops than white people do in different areas and different communities.
This was the second of 5 block parties planned along International Boulevard for this year. Although not without its own challenges, many feel this type of party is a step in the right direction.
It's tough, you know, like to get on a positive vibe and positive foot. But you know, in the end, I feel like the arts and music is the stuff that kind of like perseveres through all of the hecticness, you know.
Unexpected.
I don't think I was ready for how fishy it smelled.
The Marine Mammal Center is facing a crisis. The past few weeks, a huge number of sick sea lions have come to the facility. Every single pen is filled.
It's very emotionally draining to see these little pups come in the condition that they are.
Over 1,600 sea lion pups have washed up on California beaches. They arrived starving and hundreds of miles away from their mothers.
Here in Northern and Central California, we would see very few sea lion pups.
This center in Sausalito is one of several facilities of its kind in California. Trained teams are dispatched to beaches. So far, they've rescued over 500 sea lion pups. Since the beginning of the year, 150 of those animals have died.
I don't want to say lifeless because they're alive, but they have so little energy right now. They're just exhausted and they all have pneumonia.
At the center, sea lions are fed a cocktail of fish and other vitamins 5 times a day.
Pups are starving to death, so they're basically desperate, and they're going out into the ocean and trying to find food for themselves, and they're unprepared for life in the ocean right now.
Scientists say warming waters on the West Coast is affecting the fish population, and sea lion mothers can't provide for their pups. The center is feeding them 1,300 pounds of fish a day.
You know, our ocean is obviously in a state of turmoil right now. The sea lions are really a canary in the coal mine. They're telling us that there's something larger going on out there in the ocean.
This is the 3rd year in a row scientists have cared for so many sick sea lions, and they worry about the long-term effects of rising ocean temperatures.
The part that scares me is that they are telling us that there's some real problems in our ocean and in our climate right now, and I don't see a solution happening in any time in the near term.
But for now, marine mammal scientists are trying to fix the problem, one sea lion at a time.
I understand that, but they cut it off here.
Right. I don't know how it got.
Well, I got a text message about 8:30 in the morning. By the time I got here at 9:30, an hour later, they were all down.
We never, significantly changed the landscape lightly, but to make room for the development did have to take out some trees. So the trees will be replaced, I think at a ratio of about a 2.5 to 1 for those that were removed for the development.
This land has a rich history. Some of the trees that they cut down were from Farmer Gill's Arboretum, rare and trees from all over the world that he had planted in the late 1800s, gone in 2 hours.
Last Saturday, we held our first Boycott Sprouts action and a picket line at the Sprouts, quote, farmers, unquote, market. We carried about a 600-pound tree stump that had been cut down to the Sprouts market and put it out on the sidewalk.
We are sitting in the doorway. Please join us. We need more folks.
There's support for the ideas that they have and sort of the end goal of learning, obviously, and growing food. We just feel that it's not the right place.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to have a job, and I don't have to be the...
As the Berkeley City Council met to consider a new set of anti-homeless ordinances, protesters rallied against the rules, but not everyone was ready to join in.
So I started studying protesting history and what worked and what didn't work. And come to find out, the way the world is, protests never worked.
Nevertheless, a sizable crowd gathered to oppose the measures. The proposed rules would ban a wide and somewhat weird range of behaviors, from placing personal belongings within 3 feet of city trees to panhandling within 10 feet of a parking meter. Berkeley voters shot down similar measures 2 years ago, but now the Downtown Business Association is raising the issue again. This upsets Sally Hindman.
On the one hand, we can't offer people housing, so they have no choice but to live in doorways or with supermarket carts and lying on the ground. And at the same time, we're trying to control the way that they're homeless. And that seems particularly sick and cruel to me.
Cynthia Duran supports the proposed rules.
Businesses, hotels that want people to come and stay there want it to be a place they feel safe and comfortable with it.
It's unlikely that most Berkeleyites will have anything to worry about. And that could be a problem, argues Bob Offer Westort.
I think that the expectation is that police would use I think what proponents would call discretion and what we would call selective enforcement, such that students wouldn't be cited for setting their backpacks down, that the law would be used disproportionately against homeless people. And that's, the fundamental idea there is really not how we want to run a criminal justice system. It's not how we want to run a society where there's a set of laws for one group of people that doesn't apply to another.
The city council deliberated well into the night, ultimately deciding to support the proposals, moving the rules one step closer to becoming law.
Students Organizing for Syria, a student organization at UC Berkeley, kicked off Syria Solidarity Awareness Week with a silent demonstration, the first of a series of events taking place on campus commemorating the 4th-year anniversary of the Syrian armed conflict.
So this event was kind of a flash mob / fake refugee camp where we were trying to raise awareness about the dire refugee situation.
Omar Al-Jamal is a Palestinian who identifies with the Syrian struggle.
They're resisting and they're revolting against a very repressive regime. And as a Palestinian, I feel like my people are going through the same type of struggle against the Israeli apartheid regime. And also, all human beings everywhere should feel sympathy and feel compassion and feel solidarity with other human beings calling for justice and self-determination.
Syria's current president has been in power for over 10 years, taking power without a democratic vote. His father was in power for over 40 years.
How could we withstand 4 years while the people are against us supposedly, and the West and the regional countries, and I spent 4 years in my position with the government, with the army, with the institution, without public support? That's impossible. That's mentally unpalatable.
My daughter was raped. Last week she took her own life. We asked for our freedom and the world abandoned us. My baby and 50,000 others will be born in a tent.
Zaina is a Syrian student at UC Berkeley who left Syria right at the beginning of the anti-government protests that led to the current armed conflict.
We've seen a lot of conflicts around the world without any international, interference at all. It makes me feel really angry. It makes me feel really frustrated that this world we live in, it's the 21st century and people are dying across the world and no one's doing anything about it.
When dictators commit atrocities, they depend upon the world to look the other way until those horrifying pictures fade from memory. But these things happened. The facts cannot be denied. The question now is what the United States of America and the international community is prepared to do about it.
Student organizers hope to inform the public about the current dictatorship, the refugee camps in Syria, and to create a space for discussion through these events.
Seems like you guys are doing drugs.
In a small lab at UC Berkeley, 2 bioengineers made a major breakthrough that could change the drug testing industry for good. They created a Hardon Chip, an inch-long silicon device that recreates the heart tissue.
We basically broke down the human heart into kind of small units and look how much can we downscale to still have the functionality of the heart.
But what makes this chip so unique? For starters, it serves as a drug screening device to test cardiovascular medication, and it can also be used for personalized medicine.
A person who wants to see whether this kind of statin or this kind of beta blocker, what effect will it have in his or her system, we can take cells from that person and basically use our device to give them outputs as to this is the effect that you will have if you take this medication.
In this test with the Hardon Chip, we can see how human heart tissue would react to the exposure of isoproterenol, a drug used to treat slow heart rate. It would be hard to see the same human reaction if testing on animals.
Non-human animal models have high failure rate because animals don't mimic the human physiology. So for example, a lot of these drugs, they are tested on rats and mouse, and if you compare the heart rate of a rodent, it beats at the rate of 600 beats per minute. And if you compare the heartbeat of a normal human, it's 55 to 80 beats per minute.
For the past 50 years, the standard for pharmaceutical companies was animal testing. But Anurag hopes that the chip might change this.
10 years or so, we could definitely see that this technology, if not replace entirely, it can cut down the animal studies a lot, which will make the drug screening process more ethical and more humane.
How's the audio?
It doesn't sound good. Bay Area chocolate aficionados turned out for the 9th annual International Chocolate Salon in San Francisco. Local confectioner Ellen Purdom is founder of Toffee Talk.
This is our 5th show, so we've been in business just for 6 years, and AK invited us, and we've been here back. This is our number 5, and we won't miss it. It's just a great opportunity to socialize with everybody who loves chocolate.
More than 60 chocolatiers, wine vendors, food experts, chefs, and sponsors participated, handing out samples to local foodies who enjoyed mixing sweets with other gourmet fare.
They had one that had Jameson or whiskey or something like that in the chocolate. There was one that had rosemary in the chocolate, cheese in the chocolate. Sounds really weird, but all of the flavors together, I don't know, it was kind of magical.
But magic isn't always what it seems. New research from the nonprofit group As You Sow found high levels of lead and cadmium contamination in some mass-produced chocolates.
These metals can cause nerve impairment, developmental problems. They can cause a range of reproductive problems as well. So these are metals that you don't want to accumulate in your body, and that's the concern for us, is that people should be aware of what they're eating.
President Danielle Fougere says inordinate amounts of these metals were found in products from companies such as Hershey's, Mars, and See's. As You Sow has issued notices to some companies and is asking for answers.
And this is what we're asking the chocolate manufacturers. Have you gone through your supply chain? Do you know where these metals are coming from? So are they coming from the soils, or are they coming from the containers that the chocolate is brought to market in? Is it coming from the way they're drying the chocolate?
Bay Area-based Guittard Chocolate Company is a major supplier for many Salon vendors who are cognizant of the health concerns facing their industry.
We are aware of that, and our chocolate isn't affected because Guittard was not one of the suppliers, so it's more other large companies. Yeah.
But a few metal contaminants aren't scaring away these cocoa connoisseurs anytime soon.
I think we got all the questions we knocked everything out you've been.
The South of Market area, or SOMA, has been home to the leather community in San Francisco for many years. Soon, there may be a park commemorating that history. Alex Montiel, co-owner of the SF Eagle, a popular leather bar in Soma, says that the leather community isn't just about sex.
The leather community is about being together and sharing the same interest, and it's not only about sex. In general, the misconception of the gay community is everything is about sex, but it's not.
Seen here, the park would be located across from the SF Eagle. The park will have the same colors as the leather pride flag as a way to pay homage to the community. However, the park is not exclusive to just the leather community.
It also will serve the community in general and bringing all our neighbors together into one space.
Build Public, the nonprofit that is building the public space, is an offshoot of Build Inc. Build Inc. is building apartments in the lot across the street from the SF Eagle that will be on the other side of the park. Michael Yarney with Build Inc. says he does expect some naysayers.
This would not be San Francisco if there weren't naysayers. There's all kinds of things, right? You hear some people just scared of change, just straight up. I don't want any change. I like the way things are, right? It's classic. But also people saying, how can we trust this? Wait a second, you're a developer, aren't you like a vampire or something? And I think what I love about it is it's causing people to second guess. They're the stories that they like to tell. And so, of course, there are people that are worried, what's it really going to become?
The project is not a done deal yet. The park will be developed alongside the apartments, and Yarney expects the permits and approvals to be in place by May and construction to be finished by 2017.
Let's go down there closer, and then they will hopefully come.
My East Coast friends are very shocked by the whole idea that we even do anything like this, that we get into other people's cars.
I do casual carpool every day. I really like it because it's better than BART. It's free, or pretty much free, and you get to ride nice cars and not have to stay in line at the BART station.
So if you don't take carpoolers, right, you're going to get stuck in a toll plaza. It's going to take you a long time. So if you're in a carpool lane, you just go through.
In a week, I can save up to $30 to $35, so it amounts up to close to $130 per month, which is very significant for me.
I don't know what to expect, actually.
you never know what kind of situation you're going to get into, if someone's going to hold a gun to your head or really what's going to happen.
I would advise you sit in the back as opposed to sitting in the front. At least you have more control.
I would say very few strange experiences, some annoying experiences, like people talking on the cell phone while they drive.
Unmarked white vans you probably shouldn't get into, but he was really nice. He's like a contractor going into the city for a job, and I was like, oh, okay.
See people that you get to know outside of the casual carpool. I actually met a girlfriend once years ago through casual carpool.
And I think that there's a lot of community here in the Bay Area, and I think that that really helps people have trust in one another, and that's huge.
Got a lot of really covered so much stuff, so we've learned a lot. Thank you very much.
I've been walking over 25 years.
And you drive for Uber?
No, I drive
for Uber.
I need to say that.
He has an issue with it being not legal.
It bothers me inside me. I feel like I'm trying.
Because I know in the mornings. Has the taxi business been a big part of our life?
Well, that's our life.
That is.
This is what we live with.
This is how we send our kids to school, own homes. But we talk at least 12 hours a day about this industry.
The old days we memorize. Now where you're going? Everything by finger.
These customers have become entitled. They feel very entitled at a cheap price. They come into your car, they take a bottle of water, they got the bag of nuts, they're grabbing everything that they want to take with them. Yeah. And then they want to tell you left, right, left, and plus they've got a dog that's shedding all over your car.
It's junk.
And you get out, and what have you made? $7 for all that misery.
Well, you can't quit like that. You keep fighting till the end.
And you've got the horsey bag, haven't you?
We got the horsey bag.
Got the horsey bag.
Got the horsey bag.
Linda and John McPherson are still jet-lagged from their flight from London, but on their first vacation to San Francisco, they're playing the odds at Golden Gate Fields.
First time in San Francisco, yes.
And I'm doing the favourite. Evens at the moment, the favourite.
Who is that?
Costisa.
Contessa B.
Number 6.
Linda learned her betting strategy from her dad, who started taking her to races when she was 6.
You study the jockeys, you study the horses, see how many times, when they won last, when they haven't, and that's how you can go. So 9 out of 10, and you get the favourites, it can be a good day.
But it's a 1 in 10 kind of day. She's lost 3 races.
No, I haven't been having a good day so far, all right, because the favourites have not been coming in. It's been a very hard racing day. I've done number 7 now, okay, and they've told me that's a very good jockey, because I don't know the jockeys over here.
Like the gamblers, jockeys are also addicted to risk.
Am I addicted to adrenaline? I am very addicted to adrenaline, absolutely. And the more you ride, the more the more you're addicted, and when you get done riding, the hardest part about the end of the day is that you don't know what to do with yourself.
I have a broken femur. There's a rod still in there. I've had several broken ribs, dislocated shoulder. I chipped pieces off my spinal cord and my neck. Let's see what else.
And it's not meant for everyone. It's a certain breed of people that are meant to ride.
For that certain kind of person, on or off the horse racing is in the blood.
Unfortunately, I'm still grieving badly. My father passed away about a year and a half ago. Before him, my mum passed away a fortnight before. Then he passed away with a broken heart.
Linda says she loves horse racing because of her father, and studying his strategy has been paying off. Just not today.
Yeah.
Recording?
Yeah.
That sound.
Okay. Just so you remember.
Carla Padua has gone from long curly hair to completely bald every St. Patrick's Day for the last 3 years.
It's not a really great sacrifice because I'm thinking to all these kids that they are struggling and fighting with cancer, and so we have to help them in a certain way.
At the UCSF Children's Hospital in Oakland, community members braved the barber chair for the 8th annual St. Baldricks head shaving event. St. Baldricks is the independent foundation that raises money for childhood cancer research. The foundation started head shaving events in 1999 and has since become an international phenomenon. Padua is one of 250 people to shave their heads this St. Patty's weekend. Their goal? To raise $200,000. But how does shaving your hair translate to saving lives? The St. Baldricks Foundation is working towards bringing up awareness and funds with the help of community members, nurses, and police officers who do just that, shave their heads. Every shave is a means to an end, a pledge of support and donations towards kids with cancer. Pediatric oncologist Caroline Hastings explains.
And many have chosen to shave their heads in solidarity for childhood cancer, and others are sponsoring them, and all the money goes through the foundation directly to support cancer research. So it's a way of giving to the future of kids with cancer.
Oncology nurse Haley Koning shaved her head for the first time 3 years ago. Now a foster mother of a toddler with cancer, Koning came with 25 supporters and 7 shavies this weekend.
It really takes a village to have a child with cancer. It's a lot of hospital time and overnight stays and all of that. And so to have family and friends here just means the world to us.
And Padua is happy to be a part of that village.
When people ask me, oh, why you're bald? Oh, because I did this. So you can do the same next year with me. So I think I'm very proud to be bald. No problem.
So, yeah, I mean, how's the levels?
The levels are good.
Okay.
We're the sponsor today. I don't know if you guys have heard of us.
Yeah, we heard about it on Thursday.
Munya Maia is a student at UC Berkeley. On his time off, he enjoys playing basketball. Wheelchair basketball.
I used to play soccer before I got my disability, so I always wanted to have some kind of level of like competition. I have tried other sports, but I didn't really like them because like they were like all individual sports, and basketball is like a team sport. And
The Bay Area Outreach and Recreation Program, also known as BORP, formed the All-Stars team in 2000, helping individuals with physical disabilities live an active lifestyle.
They can be athletes, they want to be athletes, and they should have access to that.
Jonathan Newman founded the team, and this year they're hosting the Hoops Classic tournament for the 12th time. Teams from Santa Rosa, Sacramento, and San Jose came to Berkeley to participate.
We also wanted to provide that opportunity to adults who use wheelchairs to play the sport. In the bigger picture, it's because everybody should have access to sports and recreation opportunities.
Elizabeth Jones is one of those adults and started playing basketball with BORP at the age of 13.
I was taught all these skills to be able to keep track of my own trainer, keep track of my own stuff, keep track of my jersey, like keep track of all these things that the average kid gets to do on a regular basis. They're skills that every average kid is taught, but then unless you're involved in a sport when you're disabled, you're really not taught all that much.
Jones is also the only female on the team.
As I've gotten older, I've gotten so many young people in my life who are disabled, who are younger than me, who are female, and I want them to know that, you know, this is an option for you. You can go do this. You can beat the boys on a regular basis. I say it because I've done it a couple times. Like that's my fun part.
No matter the gender, being active and having fun is important to these players.
I wish a lot more people would come out and watch us play because like it's a really fun sport to watch, and people fall down and they get back up. And if only like other people, like many people would come through and watch us play, they would actually appreciate people with disabilities.
And even though the BORP All-Stars lost their first tournament match, they still love to play the game.